Trumpist threats to the FBI, including individual agents involved in the search warrant served at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and more generally to the Justice Department, are exploding. We know that Trumpists are willing to do violence in great numbers. We saw it on January 6th. And for being about backing the blue and the thin blue line and support the police and defend the police and all of this different stuff, they abandon that immediately when it is not convenient. We saw it on January 6th. On January 6th, all of a sudden, the police officers at the Capitol were trying to stop Trumpists from getting inside. They were engaging Trumpists and trying to physically prevent them from staying inside. And all of a sudden, police weren't the good guys. They were the bad guys. They don't actually care about police, the same that they don't actually care about the military. Oh, always defend the military, etc. And yet we saw with the Iraq War of George W. Bush, very willing to just send our members of the military into harm's way for no actual good, empirically backed reason. So we're seeing the exact same thing. FBI and DHS warn of increased threats to law enforcement and government officials after the Mar-a-Lago search. The threats, which are occurring primarily online and across multiple platforms, including social media, web forums, video sharing, and image boards, were identified by the FBI and Department of Homeland Security in the days following the FBI's authorized seizure of 11 sets of classified documents from the former president's home, including 4 sets classified top secret, according to the search warrant. According to the bulletin, the FBI and DHS have observed an increase in violent threats posted on social media against federal officials and facilities, including a threat to place a so-called dirty bomb in front of the FBI headquarters and issuing general calls for civil war and armed rebellion. That includes threats that are specific in identifying proposed targets, tactics, or weaponry. We also have this incident where 3 days after the search, Ricky Schiffer Jr., wearing a technical vest and armed with an AR-style rifle and nail gun, attempted to forcibly enter the FBI's Cincinnati office and described the standoff with FBI and law enforcement officers that ultimately resulted in Schiffer's death. This is obviously expected. I said this on our first stream when we were the day that it was learned that this search warrant was acted on. I said they are going to go after the FBI and the DOJ. These people are violent. These people claim to back the blue, but that's only when it's convenient. That's when it's George Floyd. That's when it's Antifa or Black Lives Matter. But when it's their own, they no longer back the blue. And some of you said, David, that's hyperbole. That's not going to happen. Well, it is happening. We've already had an armed guy show up at the FBI. They may well show up at CNN as well. The FBI field office in Cincinnati. We are seeing the doxing of the individual FBI agents who participated in serving the search warrant. And it's cause and effect. That's all it is. It's a direct result of the attacks on the verbal attacks on the FBI, law enforcement, and the DOJ. Trump did it. Marjorie Taylor Greene did it. It's dozens and dozens of Republicans saying defund the FBI. This is a Gestapo. They are actually the criminals. And this is the exact result. And it's actually so bad. I mean, we know the script. We saw what happened on January 6th. It's so bad that even a Fox host is saying Trump should probably make it clear you shouldn't go after the FBI agents.